I had no other conversation other than how were the waves this morning, how are the waves today, and how are they going to be tomorrow. I'd be at those parties, where you'd see like a girlfriend or something, or just like, what is up with these guys? Do they have anything else in their lives?
That's like my wife with me and my friends.
Can they talk about anything else? And I remember at the time I was thinking, it's like, I'm cool with just talking about surfing. I'm all right with that. It's a good subject.
Well, how did that change then? How did that pivot?
I traveled. I got out of Santa Cruz and went to Europe and saw the world. And I thought I needed to see the world. I took on this modeling thing.
Oh,
the photogenic person industry.
Oh,
and, I went off to Milan.
Let's see the blue steel. Let's see the blue steel here. You got a little Magnum action here.
Yes, I do know the specific place where the camera would make a lot of noise. It's about right there.
Our listeners, he just gave me this wonderful dead eye head tilt. Oh my God, his eyes just went right through my soul.
And it's been a little while, but it's to pose and be paid for standing there is very odd, but
but it allows you to surf.
It got me to Europe, and I looked for waves in Via Reggio on the weekend from Milan. It's like I learned that there was surfing in Italy, and then then I went to Greece, did some body surfing there, and I was so bad in terms of being very, very far gone as a surfer, and I lived near the ocean, I was on the ocean, so just being a little bit far from the Atlantic was like, where the hell am I?
What am I going to do for fun here?
Yeah.
What am I going to talk about?
Yeah, exactly. But I guess I was, intellectually interested in literature and books and movies and all that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I guess I caught enough waves. It was time to look into other things.
Was there someone that influenced that a little bit? Kind of the cultural side of you think?
The culture stuff is, I think it's naturally, I would have that, but from my brothers becoming schizophrenic and my mother being a notable math superstar genius, I'm just super curious about everything and anything, all subjects, all political persuasions, like the world, how it works, and utopian desires and failures of cultural, all different kinds of ways of approaching the world, and I wanted to get involved, be in the thick of it, to understand the world and how it works, and and put a table in a field in Alaska.
How? So you mentioned your brothers who suffered from schizophrenia. There were two. Is that three? Okay.
Only one is alive right now.
How old were you when that first started?
It was all 15 and a half to 16 and a half, I think, all in 1 year, all one after another. So I went from the point of bragging about my brothers to my brothers in living in the street and going to jail and getting into fights. It's very scary. Schizophrenia is not a walk in the park.
No.
It's horrible. You can go from the place of people having moments where they're close to the way they were, and then it's just completely heartbreaking that it comes back. You're like, okay, maybe this will never come back, and it comes back over and over and over again.
Well, it's like, also I imagine back then there was more stigma to it as well. And that must make it even more difficult to get the help sometimes that they may have needed. Do you think?
I think there's a thing about people that become schizophrenic are not very very different from your average person up until it actually happens. They're kind of just like anyone else, and that's very shocking. But also when it happens is they're 17 to 23 or something like that. So for a young man, they're super strong. They're they want to manifest themselves in the world. And if you're going to tell someone like that you're going to take drugs to lose your visions, to like slow you down, to like make you uncomfortable, side effects. You're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm crazy and I'm going out there and I'm going to be crazy. You know, like, and your siblings are like, do that somewhere else, please. Right. Because it's heavy.
Imagine so. Were you ever concerned about your own mental health then, and how you approached it?
I kind of wasn't, because I don't know. You never think. I think even and my 3 schizophrenic brothers, I don't think any of them ever thought. Woke up in the morning, like, oh, I'm going to be maybe schizophrenic like my brothers. Maybe my other siblings did. I don't know. But for me, I was like, I don't know. I was just becoming a man, just like they were, but I wasn't crazy. So I wanted to like be in the world and like succeed. And yeah, maybe my brain works a little different because, maybe I'm a little different, somewhat. But I managed to, do the laundry and get the groceries and cook food and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for schizophrenic people, like they can't take care of themselves very well. They, their relationships falter and fail, and I mean it's really, really rough.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think. I mean, one thing for sure is I didn't have the desire to go off the deep end with like drug experiments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was very attracted to the more like Zen way of looking at things, and more. I really disliked peaks and valleys.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I need to. This is so crazy to be in this environment. I'm going to be in a space that's like in the middle, where I'm not like seeking to maybe things that are like more dangerous for someone like me to. I didn't want to be high ever.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't. It's like. I feel like I had enough natural sort of like chemicals running around in my brain. I didn't really want to add any spice to the mix.
So you were spending time up the Buddhist monastery in Santa Cruz there.
Well, I actually did read a lot of Buddhist works, and I mean, I was just like voraciously reading, like every hour I was awake or surfing, at all kinds of different kinds of, Buddhism was one of them. Lots of stuff.
Nice.
It's because existentialism and Nietzsche and Henry Miller and lots of novels and literature and nonfiction, everything, all the time.
How did you come to doing your sand sculptures then? What kind of what was that? Like, just came to you from what I've read, it sounds like? Or?
I mean, I kind of have to relate it a little bit to reading, great authors, and maybe seeing good films and artistic paintings and various things. I thought that I wanted to find a medium that wasn't had not been exploited.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly every person has put their finger in the sand, and done any, it's like probably the most common thing that people do, just like
draw in the sand.
Yeah, it's like if you go to the beach, you can take pictures of like 100 drawings, but nobody pays. They have little drawings that people are like absentmindedly do at the beach. But I thought that as a medium that it had been underexplored.
Mm-hmm.
So when I covered the entire beach with the first drawing, it was like, okay. I thought to myself, oh, this has a lot of potential, and I love the part of not knowing where it would go. I had no.
So you don't plan these out ahead of time?
No, and that was part of my process. Is like I just walk onto the beach.
Wow.
And I've used rakes also, but for many years it was just find a piece of wood that washed in, use that piece of wood, throw it away, walk away. For years, no.
That's fucking crazy.
Come down with nothing.
It's fucking crazy. I just gotta say, because the perfection of the geometry that you're doing, I would look at this and be like, wow, this guy must have planned this out. There's math involved. There's something here.
All freehand. There's no.
Maybe there's like your mom's mathematical side of her brain in you in some ways, like, and you're just a savant. Like,
I'm not that good. I'm not very good at math in the sense that she
yeah.
is. Composition comes easily to me, like making up songs, or improvisation comes easy for me. But the type of math that she was known for and succeeded with would not be something that I could do.
I think it's also interesting to like talk about the backstory.
Yeah.
Not only was Jim interested in culture and literature and things that are happening on a global level, but there's also some suffering he went through, and with his mom becoming sick with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And that made him to go find a practice, like a meditation practice, like it, and that was like almost like out of, I don't know if it's desperation, but like there was like this inner voice that told Jim, like, I need a place where it's calm. I need a place where I can be away from people. Get me to a low tide beach. I get myself there. I hike down the cliff. I'll be alone for 3-4 hours. No water, no communication, no nothing. Just it's like a practice.
And also pretty unconcerned with the progress.
It's the process.
I didn't have to. It's like, I kind of check off. It was sort of I could, to understand something over time, like making a circle or many circles, I was content to do it very, very slowly. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is going to sound really strange, but oftentimes it came to mind is that I was walking through the paces of going from the discovery of fire, or when you put your hand in the sand and you make a mark, it's like, it's so beyond elemental. And after that you learn, make fire, and then, and then to going out, outside the solar system and out into the universe. The drawings I'm doing are fractal, they're self-similar. So there's like something within it, like a circle is a circle is a circle, but what if the circle's several miles across, and what if the initial circle's like several inches across? And just very slowly understanding the world through discovery, not having to get to the outest reaches of the stratosphere, but be content with this like super caveman-y thing. It's like, that's a stick, that's the sand,
Well, it's very process oriented, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not focused on the end result. Like you're going in there and you're improvising it, as you're saying. So you're not even like, you don't even know what it looks like from above. Like you're just on the ground. It's what's in front of you only, and it's this process. As opposed to, well, I wonder what this is going to look like, or imagining even what it's going to look like. It sounds like you're not even thinking about that. It's very Zen rock garden-y kind of vibe to it as well.
A friend who's an architect went to the project in the Emirates, and a woman that became friends with over there that was also came in from Canada actually. Mm-hmm. She has she does these phenomenal like architectural drawings and buildings and in the physical world, and yet she has this. She loves to knit, So and then knitting is just like it's just this lump, and then pretty soon it's like this, form that's just sort of like mindless knitting. Not mindless, but it's like I'm kind of knitting on the beach.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and then the beauty of it is that it gets washed away too. There's an impermanence to it.
The storage problem is fantastic. It's solved completely. I did a composition. I did something in New York during in Chelsea, where a public performance, and they actually put down a very large canvas, and I put a paint stick in the bottom of a stick.
Yeah.
So I was composing standing up, and then I did this. They blocked the street, and the taxis were honking and all this commotion and everything, and I was like finished my drawing like I would do at the beach, and then this like team of people all came. It's like a huge piece of canvas, I painted like gigantic, and they're like grabbing it and trying to wrestle it and carry it away. It's like I thought to myself, God, what a hassle! the gigantic canvas. I don't know wherever they took it off to. Now they'd have to pay for storage. All these. It's been like 10 years since that happened, so I have no idea where it is, but somebody's paying for the storage.
Someone's there. That's on them.
They commissioned it.
It's on them. It's a wash.
It's a wash.
New York.
Do you have then so when you go, do you bring tools, or you're just finding what's there and then you work from there?
Yeah, sometimes use like a common garden rake is useful, and other kinds of rakes. It's really about the width of line. So if the composition is to be seen from 1,000 feet or 10,000 feet or 140,000 feet, the width of the line has to respond to that.